Action?
Action.
Well, welcome to the Saved Savage podcast, where iron sharpens iron.
Amen.
The inaugural Saved Savage podcast.
The maiden voyage of a ship of logic in a sea of insanity.
Man, that is the truth right there.
Yes.
Absolutely.
How are you doing this morning?
Man, I'm doing good. It's been crazy.
Good.
Just setting up all this stuff. We've had movie sets in this living room, and
Yeah.
TV shows. We've filmed pilots and all kinds of crazy stuff, and now we got a podcast, man. I mean, it's
the East
crazy.
Texas compound.
The East Texas compound, the
That's
Reeder
right.
compound, man. Yeah, it's nuts. We're gonna have to put up a gate and like a fence with concertina wire here pretty soon, though, just to keep all the crazy zombies out.
It'll be like Graceland.
Yeah, only I don't know if it would be that cool. That's pretty cool, man. Graceland is cool.
Graceland is cool.
You ever been to Graceland?
We went to Graceland like right after Elvis died, like whenever I was little.
Oh wow.
And I haven't been back since, but I want to make a pilgrimage.
Right. Yeah, I've not been. Normally when I'm going through Memphis, I've got my windows up, doors locked, and my hand on the pistol.
Yeah,
It's
that makes
kinda
total
crazy
sense.
there. That's not true.
Yeah.
I stop there and eat barbecue every time I'm passing through. I love Memphis.
Well, I'm sure you're a lot like me with, you can pretty much go anywhere and people just don't mess with you. You just have.
Oh man, I'm telling you.
I'm
telling you.
You know.
You see me with my Trump mask, which is a bandana that has
Yeah.
Trump's signature. I go somewhere and I'm like, oh, I'm about to be on the news. I'm in Walmart.
Yeah.
They're gonna record me. I'm gonna be on the news today because somebody's gonna be trying to get this mask off of me. You need to take that off. And they just don't even make eye contact, bro.
I wear my Trump hat everywhere.
Right.
And I've never had anything but compliments. I guess the people that would, frown on Trump they don't say anything to me.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they're bullies because they'll pick on. I see people on the news all the time, but yet I'm not on the news because they just see my Trump mask and my long beard poking out and me like as big as I am, whatever. I don't know. Maybe they notice the scars on my knuckles and they say, we just let this guy go, and that pisses me off,
Yeah.
because. I don't wear it to start a fight, but it's like at the same time, why y'all
support.
starting fights with somebody else and not
Yeah.
me? Dude, talking about that, I was at I'm not gonna say what. I was at a market, a grocery store, and I was walking in, and I was walking by the bakery, and this kid comes out. I say kid, he's probably 23 years old. No, at my guessing, from his eyes, because of course he had a mask on, and he's like. And he comes up me pretty quick, like he's coming out of the bakery. I'm like, oh, hell, here it is. We're about to be on the news. And he's like, you excited about the debate? It was, a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, yeah, And he says, man, I don't know what Biden's going to do. How are they going to get him through this? This is going to be crazy. It was right before the debate. It was the day before the debate. And I'm like, okay. And this kid's tattooed up his neck, just straight up cholo. Awesome. I mean, and we were talking about it, and he's just telling me, yeah, man. I said, you know what's weird is that you and I are having this conversation in the middle of a grocery store.
Yeah.
Looking like I look with my tats and his tattoos up his neck, all this kind of stuff. And he says, yeah, and I'm Hispanic.
Yeah.
I'm just like, exactly. And he says, but the future of Western civilization is at stake if he doesn't get elected. I'm like, who is this kid? This is incredible.
Well, a lot of people get it. And, I ride with an MC.
Right.
And the majority of the people in my club are black and brown. Mostly brown. But, if they're not a Trump supporter, they don't speak up. But most of them are like we are. They're not.
Right.
They're just huge Trump supporters.
Hold on, so I don't understand because you ride with a motorcycle club that is skewed toward, or I guess it's includes only law enforcement. Is that correct?
Well, law enforcement, and they do accept some civilians.
But it's systematically racist. law
Well,
enforcement is, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is.
But they're but wait,
clearly,
mostly
because,
black and brown.
You know what? That's just so much. That's just so much
BS, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
won't
our
say-
bullshit. I don't care.
Yeah, I know. Okay, well,
we
let me
we
tell you
savages
something.
that's been saved. Our mouths
The,
ain't been saved yet.
We're going a completely different direction than what we thought we were going to go.
Of
But
course.
statistically, it's just not supported.
Oh yeah.
It's just not supported. I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked about this and talked about it and talked
But
about
math
it.
is racist.
Math must be. But statistically, they're working with a false narrative. They're willing
Yeah.
to spread the false narrative. They, it's crazy. And, we have, within our club, we have private forums and everything. And they're telling you, because we don't differentiate between, if you're wearing a cut, it says Thin Blue Line, Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club on it. And we don't differentiate within the club. In fact, we're not even supposed to say, well, this guy's law enforcement, this guy's not, because we don't want a target on our back.
Right.
Some may target us because we are law enforcement, and some may think, well, we're going to get the weak one out of the herd and do something, to that person. It's just, so we don't differentiate within the club, which I think is a good thing, but constantly within our forum, it's, keep your head on a swivel. And being a law enforcement club, we don't worry about the other clubs, the dominant clubs in the area, whether, they're a 1%er club or anything
Right.
else. We worry about the activist out there that would
Right.
walk up,
Well,
without
we
warning.
are friends with some of the 1%ers.
Absolutely.
You and I both.
Absolutely.
We know a lot of those guys.
Absolutely. And in fact, one thing that was cool, we had that tragedy in Kerrville when
Right.
we were up here last summer for our foundation meeting, several hundred of us staying in Bandera. And the very first person who called me to make sure that I was okay
Right.
was one of our mutual friends that's in a 1%er club.
Right.
And
A president.
a president, yeah,
a 1%
of
club, of
the
a chapter.
dominant club in our
Right.
area. And not only that, he and a group of his friends were at a bar, and some of our guys walked in and sat down. And he got up, walked over, said, "Hey, man, I just want to tell you that our heart breaks for you." And
Yeah, that's
what
awesome.
happened, and bought them. They started buying shots
Right.
back and forth and
Right.
everything. And I think that's a beautiful thing about the motorcycle community.
Right.
And it's just with everything going on, everything going on, we don't need any more.
Right.
We don't need any more bullshit. We don't need any more.
Yeah.
And so, I
It's
think
like
that's
being American.
yeah.
Why can't America
But let me
be
tell
like
you
a
something.
motorcycle club? Or
Yeah,
like a motorcycle
exactly.
club?
It's like
they're
we always
all in the COC,
Yeah, it's like we always say, we wish that Americans loved America
Right.
like Texans love Texas.
Yeah, that.
So,
That's
we
what I'm
jumped
talking
right
about.
in. You didn't even introduce yourself. I know everybody
Oh.
knows who you are.
Oh, I'm Randal Reeder, and I guess I'm the Saved Savage, but then so are you, because we're all
I am a
saved
saved
savages.
savage.
So
We're all born in a state of sin,
yeah,
and sin is what separates us from the Most High God. And we've accepted Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior to bridge that gap,
right,
because there is a gap.
right,
And being a savage, our primal nature from way back, men are supposed to be men. Women are supposed to be women. God made us unique with our own roles as men. We're the providers and protectors. And I'm going to say it. Screw your toxic masculinity. Men are supposed to be men.
what's toxic about masculinity?
There is nothing toxic.
I'm
about
sure
men.
I'm sure there's masculinity that can be toxic, but you know what I mean. There could be all of that can be. Everybody can go crazy with it. But I'm Randal Reeder. This is the Saved Savage, and this is Bryan Promo Miller. That's what we call him, Bryan Promo Miller.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being a part of it.
Dude, I love this.
That long little intro, like I don't know how long we got. Our rabbit
It doesn't
trail.
matter. It doesn't matter.
But now we hunting.
But let me tell you something. People are getting this.
Right.
You know, we were up in Harpers, Texas, outside of Kerrville,
Right.
a few weeks ago, and you know, the very first person that we talked to, you know, veteran, retired Alvin Police Department, suffers from PTSD, huge into Headwaters for Heroes, and when we were talking about, you know, being a saved savage, dude, the guy almost wept.
Oh
He's
yeah,
like,
the light just goes
Yeah.
off, and yeah, it's well, I guess that's a good way to we need to talk about a safe savage and what it is, and you know, it's funny because to me, a safe savage is me because I was driving down the road on a long trip that a trip from West Texas to East Texas. It was it's about an 8-hour trip turned into 12 hours. My son's riding with me in the front. We're hauling, I think,
and
his,
he has a small bladder, so you can't
no,
have
no,
it
no.
stop.
We're hauling his pickup truck
Okay.
on a car caddy. Okay,
right.
and my brother's riding behind us with driving behind us in a vehicle with another trailer probably or whatever, and we had a blowout on the car caddy, just barely out of Big
Oh
Spring.
yeah, I remember that.
And so anyway, when that happened, I sent Dax with my son Dax which does our sound, by the way, because my son's a badass producer.
He is absolutely,
it's crazy. So we say hi, Dax. What up? So anyway, I said, hey man, Dax, why don't you ride with Rick, and why don't you ride with him on the trip, because I just want to get with God, maybe listen to some preaching or something like that. And he goes, all right, well, cool. You know, I mean, first he was kind of like, well, I'm listening to my earbuds. And I'm like, nah, it's cool. I want to be by myself. You know, this is a sign. You know, this a blowout like within 20 miles or 30 miles or something of Big Spring. So they go get a tire, and then we come back, and we get back on the road. And then, I don't know, an hour later, pop, explodes the fender. 2 out of 2 tires blow on the trailer that has 2 tires, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So this trip was one of those trips. Well, I didn't get all down because I was listening to like Bethel music on my Pandora or something, some kind of praise music. And I was talking to someone about this foundation that we're trying to set up about, you know, for raising money for faith-based films and all this kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, I had this idea. This just pops in my head: Save Savage. This, I don't know. I saw the shirts. I saw this. Like I saw it was. I was like, oh, what is this, God? Like I feel like it's you, because I'm sitting here. I'm 8 hours in or 6 hours in to listen to praise music and talking about this foundation and all this. What is this Save Savage? Is it another TV show? Is it a brand? Is it a ministry? What is it? And I just, you know, like God talks to you. It's never like an audible voice or whatever. I don't even know. It's like this little silent, this knowing, or I don't know what it is. So, or I'm just crazy, and that's cool too. So
or both.
It was like, yeah, it's like, you know, I think it's all of that, but you're a safe savage. I just felt like that's me.
Yeah.
Like I'm a safe savage. Told my brother about it that day. Man, I was like, this is crazy. He reacted. He was like, oh wow.
You called
this is
me
heavy.
shortly after.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it was just like, whoa, God told me what I am. Oddly enough, is I didn't even realize, I think, how much I had kind of hated myself since I'd been a Christian deep down, you know. Maybe I didn't realize it either, you know, and because of just the way I think and the way I talk and all that. I remember I remember my Uncle Gary, who was one of the first, like, you know, really active Christians in our family that I remember, that I dealt with in my family. My Uncle Gary, and then my cousin Jessica, and my Aunt Sandy, and all that. Like, it just really, they got real active in church and everything. And now Gary's a pastor of a church. So anyway, I was, we got to get him on the podcast sometime.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I was talking to him one time, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know, man. It just, because I was, you know, going to church, and I was missionary, and, you know, I'd go to Brazil on missionary trips, stuff like that. And I was like, man, this is, you know, I don't know, man. I hate myself for this, or, you know, I can't stop doing this.
We beat ourselves up when we fail.
So he starts reading from the Bible, telling me Apostle Paul. Like I can't do the things that I want to do, and I constantly do the things I don't want to do, and all this. I'm like, this is Paul who wrote a third of the New Testament,
Yeah.
or attributed as writing it. And I'm just like, this is amazing. This is
Yeah.
wild. So, I had that in the back of my head, but it wasn't, I had some solace. I felt okay, I guess. I didn't necessarily just, leave the faith over my behavior or my thoughts or whatever. But it just never really was, I couldn't love myself. I couldn't really accept God's love, I think, until, man, it just clicked. Recently, last couple of years, going through the Word every day and all that, but then this was like the final thing. Now, of course, there'll be another final thing, and a few months later,
There's never a final
and my
thing.
stumble with God,
Yeah.
because I can't quite call it a walk. But yeah, it was like, yeah, you're a saved savage. And I'm like, so then, I start talking to you and my brother and everyone, and they're like, yeah, man, that's amazing. My military friends, they're just like, dude, I'm a saved savage. It's just popping, man. So yeah, I mean, it's a company, it's a TV show now with Save Savage Outdoors. We started Save Savage Outdoors. That's where we're filming with the Headwaters for Heroes. It's a podcast starting today, and no telling where it's going to go or what's going to happen with it. But it is it's a movement. It's a movement that exists. I was showing you that Mises guy. Or, the rapper.
We listened to it this morning.
Yeah, it just came across my my YouTube, my algorithm.
Yeah.
It pops up, and I see this dude that looks like one of us with a beard and all this standing in front of the Trump Tower in Chicago. And I was like, I've been there. What's this about? And this awesome rapper Mises starts rapping Trump 2020, Christ 21. I was like, what? I sent it to my brother, like, whenever I saw it, probably 12 at night or 4 in the morning or whatever, and I was just like, dude, look at this. This guy's safe savage. This guy's a safe savage, because I went looking at his, into his videos, and he's, talking to his phone while he's in the middle of Indiana or something, going to the next show, and he sees a church, and he's like, it got me thinking. I saw this lone church out in the middle of the field, and I thought, how many churches are there in the world? And he kind of pauses for a second, and he says, before y'all answer that, I'll give you the answer. There's one. There's one church.
I dig that.
Jesus has disciples, not denominations. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. So there's Save Savage. So it's a movement. It's been a movement since Paul. It's been a movement since Peter.
Exactly. We didn't start it.
No, man.
We just figured it
We're
out.
just putting a name on it. We're just
everybody else. Other people figure it out, but they call it something else. And,
there's hundreds of movements. There's saved savages just like us out there, and the cowboy churches are saved savages.
Biker churches.
Yeah, Soldiers for Jesus MC. I was a patch holder and rode with those guys. I love them.
Absolutely. But quick disclaimer: you don't have to have a beard to be a saved savage, but it doesn't hurt.
It's definitely we don't have a problem with this kind of toxic masculinity, do we?
Well, let's talk about that a little more. Toxic masculinity. You hear that from the left all the time. And, I'm sure that there is some sort of toxic faux masculinity, there are men out there who think that they're manly whenever they push women around or whatever, but that's not masculinity.
Oh, that ain't masculinity. No.
That is
being
weakness.
A bitch?
That is, that's being a little bitch.
You're right.
That's not masculinity. That's weakness.
Right.
That is absolute weakness.
Yeah, absolutely.
And God doesn't call men to be weak.
Right.
He calls us to be strong. He
Right.
calls us to be the way that He made us.
Right.
And that doesn't mean you have to dress any certain way. That doesn't mean that you have to necessarily act any certain way other than, you want to be glorifying to
so
God.
you're saying God doesn't call you to curse, but He might call men who curse to do something.
Absolutely. I'm very political online and everything.
No.
And yeah.
Okay.
You ever noticed? Okay.
Yeah.
And I've got people on there that will consistently, I'll say something positive about Donald Trump. Well, instead of making their argument about that, they want to bring up a soundbite from 20 years ago
Right.
about Trump. And my general answer to that is, look, you don't like what Trump did 20 years ago. If you knew me 20 years ago, you wouldn't have liked me either.
If you know me 20 minutes ago, you wouldn't like me.
Well, I don't like you now all the time, but I always love you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's another thing. You know, people look at us and they see this camaraderie between all of us. I mean, me, you, your brother, your son, my dad, and people think that we are like that all the time. We have arguments. Mm-hmm. You know, we dig on each other constantly.
That's it. Well, let's pay a bill or something, and then get our first guest, which is the guy's like family for me. To me, to me. I mean,
he's like family to me. He is family to you.
All right. Well, cool. We're coming back with my brother, with brother Rick.
Your brother Rick,
who's not only in the tribe, is the tribe. Like this guy. I love this guy like a brother since the day he was born, because he's my brother. Coming up next, brother Rick Reeder. All right, we are back with brother Rick. Dude, you've been like a brother to me for, I don't know, 50 years, however old you are.
46.
My older, not so good looking little brother.
50. I mean, what are you going to bring 50 up in this?
I know, both of us knocking on that door.
Yeah.
Wait, if he's a little brother and you say he's 50.
That makes you
No, he's the
older brother.
He's the older brother. I'm almost 40.
I think everybody can tell that I'm not the older brother. So.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah.
So number one.
Yeah.
That's
Number
it.
one, the inaugural.
Breaking the cherry.
Yeah,
so.
man. See, that's why we're.
Hey, save
that's
Savage.
why we're Save Savage.
Save Savage.
Why you gotta go there, son? Oh my God, my brother.
Hey, maybe I'm a little more savage than Saved.
Oh
so.
no, I don't, dude.
Nah, I think we're all good. We're all good. So.
That Jesus.
That's why you're always in front of the camera, not me.
Oh man, no, I don't know, man. It's bad. So yeah, Save Savage Outdoors.
Yeah, the adventure.
Yeah.
So we've had a lot of awesome, I don't even know what to call them, because we've done movies,
Lives.
wrestling.
We've lived a lot of lives.
Yeah,
in
we've
this
done.
life, huh?
I mean, I used to train racehorses.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff that I've compartmentalized so much, stick back in the back of my head and forget I even did it.
It seems like it doesn't even.
Yeah.
It's a memory. So much as like a movie we watched
Yeah,
or something, right?
Somebody asks a question about it, I start talking about it, and it just floods out, and I'm like, wow, I done forgot all that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But now I think we're on the path of righteousness.
Yeah, that's it. Well, God's got us where He wants. It's funny. It feels like, because we're doing. What was it I wrote the other day on something, or said like we're back to killing, and the Reeder brothers are back to killing and grilling, but Save Savage style.
Right.
And so it's like we did it. So we're doing the same thing again. Actually going back to Pursuit Channel and everything. But we're just doing it different this time,
Yeah, it feels so. Like a
Organic.
refresh.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's totally different.
Yeah,
So,
starting over, doing the same thing again, but with knowledge of the and wisdom,
Lots
and
of
then
knowledge.
God on our side this time. I mean, not to say He wasn't on, our side last time. I mean, He was there the whole time.
Oh,
In fact,
yeah.
we were watching. Well, God, we were editing something the other day, and I forgot, because every episode we ended with thanking God Almighty, and like in the credits. So we actually had God in the credits,
Yeah,
So
I mean,
so it's always been there for us.
even Kill Responsible was our our main.
Yeah, that's right. We had Kill Responsibly on the front, which but now we've got Savage for Christ on the front. So it's kind of a different deal, man. Kind of a different deal, but sort of the same.
That's it.
Yeah.
Different yet the same.
Yeah, so God, how long has what Pursuit Channel's wanted us back? We've wanted to come back.
Yeah, every year you go to SHOT Show. I get to go to SHOT Show on occasion, and it's always the same. Hey, when y'all?
Right.
I mean, I don't work the social media as much as I used to on our Killin and Grilling, but when I do, it's like, hey, where y'all at? When y'all coming back? And
Well, we're back.
I mean, I put a post on there saying, hey, check us out. We're doing this new, and instantly people are like, great, we missed y'all.
Right.
So yeah, it's amazing. It's been very organic. We've talked about it for years, and life has always just kind of blocked us. If anything.
Ironically, we met Bryan, I think, through Killin and Grilling.
Yeah.
This was back in 2010, 2011, something like that.
Yeah, we met Promo then.
That's where I met
like
him first.
11 or something. I think we met through AD, or we met
Roundtree,
AD
absolutely.
through So we met through AD. So all right,
Now
so
long
I'll
days.
give some history, just for the few people in the world that didn't watch Killin and Grilling. K&G Chronicles, because I'm sure
there
it's
was
only a
just a
few
couple
of you.
people, not
but
many.
it was our little show that wow. I mean, did this little hunting show, and how did it start? Okay, I picked up Pete in Hollywood. So I had a friend named Pete. We called Dog because we did security back in the day with him, which we won't talk too much about all that because it's pretty wild. But anyway,
And the statute of limitations.
yeah,
is
exactly.
quite up.
It might be over by now,
to
but
protect
pretty
the
dang close.
innocent and the guilty.
Sure.
So, but no, we so I went out to I went to LA to get my Bronco. It was out there, and because I was living in Shreveport with number 2, and we were number 2X. So ex-wife,
Savage.
so great chick. So anyway, didn't work out, but great chick. So anyway, we were living. She was a makeup artist. We were living there, and we had came out because the writer's strike was killing us in L.A. And I kept getting flown out to Shreveport to do like Harold and Kumar, Guantanamo Bay, all that stuff was filmed in Shreveport. So we were out here, and Pete was freaking living under a bridge or something crazy, like starving to death.
Yeah, I love Pete. He was like the most, rich one day, under a bridge the next,
Man.
and just
happy the whole time.
All the time.
And so I'm like, dude, why are you out there starving to death? This is crazy. We're Hollywood South. Like, it's like being in Hollywood in the 40s. Like with Shreveport was. It was amazing. That we knew the film commissioner and the heads of studios and all this. I'm like, you got to come out here, man. You've produced shows, movies that are actually in Blockbuster, because there was a Blockbuster back then.
Yeah, back
so
in the
I
day.
went and grabbed. I said, look, I got to come out and grab my Bronco. So I guess I flew out, get my Bronco. I said, look, we'll load your stuff up in the Bronco, and you come stay with me over in. You can stay at the East Texas our place here. You can stay here in our house here because we had an apartment in Shreveport. So we're driving there, and I think we were talking to Mike McCaney, he and I on the speakerphone, and he says, "What are you going to be doing here?"
No, you had a pitch meeting on your way out.
No. What for? For what? For
You
Killin' and Grilling?
you were pitching a slate, I think, to like Fremantle or somebody.
Oh yeah, maybe so. I had a pitch out there in LA or something. But so anyway, we're driving back. We're in New Mexico. I remember we were talking to somebody on the phone. I think it was our boy Mike McCaney, but it could have been Binky or whoever, somebody. And I was telling him, I went to pick up my boy, and we're gonna film something. We're gonna produce something. And he was like, "What are you gonna produce?" I'm like, "I don't know. We're gonna produce a horror movie or something low budget, or maybe a hunting and cooking show or something." And he was like, it was Mike McCaney. He says, "Dude, I've never seen a hunting cooking show. I'm like, I know. That's why I'm thinking about doing a hunting cooking show. We've been talking, man. My brother's been talking about it. Nobody cooks the meat, the game. So and he's, what would you call it? I'm like, I don't know, man. Redneck Cooking with Randall or Killin and Grilling. Dude, call it Killin and Grilling. That's awesome. It literally happened. So that by the time that was in New Mexico or something in the desert, I remember that. We get here, I drop him off at the compound. And said, all right, man, I'll see you in a couple days. I think you were living here, working, doing something in the oil field or something. And Mom's cooking, and everybody's here.
Me, you, and Peter in the pool.
Right, exactly.
Chilling, talking about it.
Exactly. So we had the saloon that we had built on the back of the barn back then. And Pete comes. I swear, it was like he slept for 3 days or something. We thought. So he finally comes out, and like, dude, you come out of hibernation? He goes, yeah. He says, man, look, I've been thinking about it, and I made some phone calls, and we got a pitch meeting in Mississippi. I think we should be on Pursuit Channel. I don't like Sportsman or Outdoor as much. I mean, they're cool, but I'm like, what are you talking about? He says, what do you mean a pitch meeting? He's like, Killin and Grilling. I'm like, that was a joke, bro. He goes, oh, man, they took us seriously. They love it. We're going to Mississippi next Thursday. I'm like, no, dude, we're not going to pitch a show that doesn't exist we need a sizzle or something. He goes, no, we don't need a sizzle. I'm like, dude, I'm not pitching something without a sizzle. So let's make a sizzle, postpone it a week. And we literally made a sizzle in a week, wrote a song, Killin and Grillin'. Kelly and Mom was playing harmonica in it, and Mike McCaney was singing, and they ended up being that sizzle was like 3.5 minutes. Ended up being condensed down to
our opening,
like a 1.5 minute opening for Killin and Grillin', and that's what Killin and Grillin'. Bam, we were in the
borrowed a high 8 camera, shooting on film. It was craziness.
No, I think we were. No, it was digital revolution by then. We were probably shooting on some like Panasonic something or other back then, or a XL. One of them was an XL1 or whatever that one Canon XL1 kind of looked like a something like that, I think that was one of them, but that was probably somebody's. It wasn't our camera. We didn't, And man, it was wild, dude. Next thing you know, we're doing Killin and Grilling. We're dumb enough. We go down there, and the guys at Moose Media or whoever was with Pursuit back then is like, we're like, all right, what do we do? It's like, how many episodes do you need? Oh, you can do 13, but if you really want to do it, you do 26 episodes a year. Like, all right, cool. We want to do it. So we just bid off 26.
Like, yeah, I don't think you want to do an hour.
You want to do an hour?
No, we want to do an hour.
Yeah,
okay,
that's right.
We'll do an hour.
That's right.
Of course, yeah.
We ended up doing a half hour, but we did do 26, and I think we did 22 that season.
And all those could have been an hour.
That was horrible. But that was so hard because, but by the way, there's 52 weeks in a year. Yeah. So when you do 26 episodes a year, something has to die every 2 weeks.
Plus, there's only 3 months of hunting season.
Yeah,
4 months of
crazy.
Hunting season,
it's crazy. All right, well, let's take a little break real quick. Maybe pay some bills. Promo, you got some sponsorship sold or something for us, or something that we can. Oh, the commercial? Is there a commercial? We can run a commercial.
We got to run the commercial.
All right,
we got to run the commercial.
We'll be right back. You got 2 claps.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
We're back from commercials.
We're back from commercials.
So we just talked about killing and grilling.
Right.
How it all started.
Yeah.
Let's see. I guess from there we
kept killing and grilling.
we did that.
We just did it K&G. We changed it to K&G Chronicles.
Yeah. We had all that sponsorship issue with the whole killing.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You remember why?
Why would you change such an awesome name?
That's what everybody said. They're like, "Why would you change the name? We love the name."
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not an advertising executive that went to Berkeley.
Right.
That worked for GM or Ford or whatever. Because
Did he wear Birkenstocks?
It was a dirt. No, we don't know. We just got emails back from them going, "We will never, ever, ever, ever 3 evers in a row sponsor anything with the word kill in the title."
Yeah. From a very highly known car manufacturer.
Right. So here's the thing. So we
That's
when that happened, but that happened early on. Like we sent it like the first episode out or something. And
we were young and dumb. We're like, we're gonna go in there. We're gonna land some. We're gonna land one of the big threes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we gonna do this little show. We're gonna have $1 million budget. And all
it was crazy.
Yeah, nah.
So we went to by the time we went to SHOT Show, which was like I think late January, early February back then, we had episodes. People were recognizing us. It was pretty quick. Like we made a big splash, but we were just
some of them did recognize us thinking we were Duck Dynasty. I don't know why.
I don't know about you,
but
so we were, exactly.
But the second year, every time somebody came up and recognized us,
it was
we
straight
thought
up.
they recognized us for Duck Dynasty because
Yeah.
it was even bigger
was
then.
straight
And
up.
they're like, "No, man, we loved it when y'all went and hogged on it earlier."
Yeah, they love it. It was awesome. But anyway, by then we had already started rebranding it. Like we knew right in, get your K&G gear. Join the K&G posse. I mean, because we were like, we're going to have to change this name. We're going to have to ditch it. And that was an interesting year, though, K&G Chronicles, because we met Rock, who ended up being a partner. I guess we met him through Dustin and Mal at S3.
S3 Power Sports. We went out. We went to
Oklahoma or something?
No, we went to the mud park.
Yeah, no, but didn't we meet him? We first met him we're in the sand dunes. Was it Oklahoma?
Oh yeah. We went to Winoka, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They have sand dunes in
dude.
Oklahoma?
Oh, dude, they have one of the baddest sand dunes
awesome.
I did not know
Oklahoma.
that.
Yeah.
So
S3 they were the 900 XP was out, and that was the big thing, and they put a turbo on it.
Right. That's
And
right.
so we met them, and my first side-by-side experience was at night in the desert with Dustin Jones. If anybody knows Dustin Jones from S3 Power Sports, he full throttles everything. So I hopped in with a camera. It's dark because we got there. It was dark, and they'd been riding all day. And I mean, we're hitting bowls in this thing, and he's got me to the outside. So he's a little skinny fella, and I'm not.
Right.
I just
Oh
think
yeah,
we're
you
gonna-
lean.
I-
Your,
yeah, I'm
your
like,
buggy's the
I'm
one
just-
that's
I'm
leaning
just wait-
to the side.
I'm just waiting to roll it, which
Right.
we do have on film. Me and Dustin
That's
rolling a
right, y'all
couple
did
of-
roll it. I
yeah,
forgot about
yeah,
that.
But man, it was a great people,
Dude.
great experience. We met Rock
We met
there.
Rock there, and he invited us to the mud park.
Yeah.
So River Run Mud Park. So
Jacksonville.
we went to
Awesome
Yeah, we went over
mud
there,
park.
and he was like, "Man, come over. I'll drive you around." So we're in a Hummer driving around. It's you know what? Screw it. We'll tell the story. So we're driving around. He's showing us this mud park, and I'm like, "Dude, what made you decide to go from hospitals to mud parks?" Because I think hospitals and stuff.
10 or 12 hospitals.
So he was like, "Man, I always wanted a mud park. I always wanted a high fence ranch." He's
Dare's a
when
dream.
we leave this mud park, I'm gonna drive you across the street and I'm gonna show you my high fence ranch. I'm like, "No way." He goes, "Yeah, but y'all are living my third dream. Y'all got a hunting show. I always wanted a hunting show." I said, "Well, hell, man, for X amount of dollars, you can have a piece of a hunting show right now." And he slams on the brakes, jumps out of the driver's seat, comes around, opens my door. I'm thinking we're fixing to throw down. Like, I don't know what the hell's happening. And I'm like, he said, "Shake on it." I'm like, "What?" I step out and he says, "Shake on it. You said for this amount of money, I can have a percentage of it." I'm like, "Yeah." He says, "Shake on it right now." And I'm okay. He said, "Look at the hair on my arms, man. The hair on my arms is standing up." I'm like, all right. He said, it always happens when I make a good deal. I'm like, okay. And he says, come by the office Monday. We'll make this a deal. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So it was, dude, K&G started almost like Killin and Grilling with a joke. I'm
Right.
like, I don't know, we're maybe doing a hunting and cooking show named Killin and Grilling. And then, like, well, X amount of dollars, you can have 20% of this one. And then, bam, and next thing you know, we got our partner.
And it was
nuts.
A great combination. I mean, we went from doing everything from here at the compound to this.
We had an office in downtown
Shreveport. Rocky. He's just.
He don't jack around.
Yeah,
it was like
he personifies rich redneck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, remember we wanted to do that show, but let's not mention the show because we might still do that show, and I don't want to But we want to do a show about that kind of a redneck, rich rednecks.
Yeah, because I mean, we flew on private jets for
go
2
pick up Aaron
years.
Lewis.
Yeah, I mean,
we flew out.
It was amazing experience.
We flew out to one of the many adventures we had. We jumped on. I think we're on Mr. Mal's jet at that point on that one, because Mr. Mal with S3 Power Sports, he's not a presumptuous guy like, oh, I need a jet. It's just literally like he needed a jet because his company is like, he's like, I think we're losing money, sweetie. I need to get things get there quicker and all that stuff. So he got a jet or maybe several jets. I'm like, anyway, I don't want to go telling off on his stuff, but he's an awesome dude. And so we're flying to Palm Springs to pick up Aaron Lewis. We'd introduced Aaron Lewis into the mix through our Super Trooper cuz, Justin Chambers. And
hey, hold on, not everyone knows who Aaron Lewis is.
Oh, Aaron Lewis.
Everybody
knew.
Aaron Lewis.
All right, so Aaron Lewis was lead singer
for Stained.
And then, but he's also a country singer now. So he's this tattooed up country singer. He's got it's like no, "Don't Tread on Me" tattooed on his neck or something. He's what a wild dude that guy is. So anyway, he was our buddy. Introduced him into the mix. So we're taking him turkey hunting in Nebraska or something. We fly out to Stagecoach.
Right.
And we
Palm Springs.
We drop in there, literally dropped in, because if you fly into Palm Springs,
I mean, this is my first private jet experience.
Yeah.
And I didn't know we had Maverick and Goose as our pilot.
Right. Totally.
Because apparently there's a lot of traffic going in and out of Palm Springs.
Well, during Stagecoach, which is Coachella.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, we're going to have to slide in between a couple of planes real quick. So this is going to be a kind of quick, landing. And, I mean, he went from
it was.
Dude.
He banked left
and
at
dropped
30,000 feet and dropped to landing in like
insane.
2.3 seconds.
It was insane. Rick's like, I mean, all of us were, but Rick, I was laughing really hard because I was like, if we die now, it's worth it to see my brother this petrified. Because I mean,
it was awesome. I was like grinning, like
it was not a grin. That was grit. Like,
it was
gritting the teeth.
It was awesome.
So yeah, we did that.
Poor Timmy.
Dude, yeah, it was incredible. I mean, that was just, man, we'll have to talk about Stagecoach sometime because that was just a great experience. But so we picked up Aaron Lewis, went turkey hunting, and then
Nebraska.
flew down to Nebraska. Flew down to like San Antonio to catch a Stain show with
it was
Godsmack.
It was Aaron doing his first set really to the public for his country album.
Right.
And then, so he had, he was doing
that,
Godsmack. And then 2 days later,
that's right.
he had 2 days off and then was playing with Stain.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow, we get to go. We met Roy
Dude,
Clark.
That's right. We were at his genesis of his career as a country singer.
He told me the story of
Wow.
Country Boy before that song was even out.
That's right.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So anyway, we did that, killing K&G Chronicles for a year, and then we actually ended up selling like Rock bought us out because we had a redneck entourage that we were shopping a film. Everybody kept flying Rick and I out to LA to pitch shows and things. They wanted the next Duck Dynasty, and they thought Rick and I was going to be the next Duck Dynasty, and we thought we were going to be the next Duck Dynasty. And we had a show, dude. You got to look. We got to show it to you sometime. Sharp Entertainment out of New York was producing it, and Mike Judge, our buddy Mike Judge, was executive producer, and everybody, we just knew this was going to be the thing. And if that happened, as soon as we got picked up, it was being shopped, and as soon as it got picked up to A&E or whoever, we weren't going to be able to be on our own show, K&G Chronicles. So Rock buys us out, and because we fully anticipated with Mike Judge producing this with Sharp Entertainment, of course we're getting picked up. Wrong. But anyway, so everybody looked at it and nobody bought it. We've been told, it's just about Hollywood. They don't like Hollywood.
That's the way it goes.
Hollywood.
But at the same time, God being the ultimate planner that He is, that's what set us in motion to get to this point.
Oh yeah, but then went out there, did Deadpool 1 and 2 and Pure Flicks, all that kind of stuff. So now because all of that was going back out there because of all of this Redneck Entourage, and now we're back here in the living room we grew up in, doing Saved Savage podcast, and as we're putting together Saved Savage Outdoors.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, how amazing!
So
is
much.
this?
It's like the intro to Killin and Grillin again.
Yeah.
This much later.
Yeah,
it's right back to leaving there to come here. Back to what's for real.
Yeah, exactly.
It's.
But that's not to say that you're not, going to still be doing movies. I mean, you have things now that are in post production.
Yeah,
things that have just been released.
And we're waiting on the. Yeah, absolutely. We're
and pre-production.
Yeah, we're about to do another thing for Pure Flicks. We've got. I mean, you probably don't even know everything with.
I know a lot of it, but I'm sure I don't know everything
wild,
because
man.
y'all don't
it's
tell
wild.
me
We're crazy busy, and it's gonna be amazing. And what a wild ride, bro!
Well, let's talk about Sons of Thunder because it's a.
Look at the producer. Yeah. See, Rick's y'all. Not everybody knows this, but Rick's executive producer of Sons of Thunder.
Behind the scenes.
I'm in it.
Huh?
I'm in it.
Yeah. That promo's in it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because it's done very well. I mean,
we don't know how well it's done because I think even Pure Flicks being the Christian organization it is and all that, but there's still a streaming service, and streaming services do not want to share info. So I've not asked David or anything, but we assume that it's doing super well. We've been told
we know it's doing well just from the hundreds and thousands of fans.
Millions.
Oh yeah,
that
millions.
Have contacted us directly,
absolutely,
through Facebook and social media.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then you look at how many views we have on our trailer on YouTube, and I mean
it's pretty wild.
And it's
Pureflix,
changing
if you don't know
lives.
about Pureflix is the Netflix of Christian
it's
content.
like a Christian Netflix basically.
I mean, pretty much the leader in it. I mean, I believe there's a few.
I don't know that there's another. I don't know that there's another company that. I think they're the largest producer of Christian content in the world.
Yeah, and they've been pretty interweaved in our life over the last couple of years as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, we're Save Savage are a huge part of it and what we're doing because we wanted to do faith based. We wanted to do stuff that made our God and our mom proud, and so we wanted to produce that kind of content, and we set out to kind of in our hearts to meet Pure Flicks, and then next thing you know. We're like I'm getting an audition. The only audition I'd ever had for a Christian anything, and I'd wanted it for a long time because I was a believer in Hollywood. So, and I swear, like people at LaPorte Worship Center, which is now Fields of Harvest, my first church, like I swear they probably prayed once a month that I would get to a Christian film someday,
right. So they could watch it.
Yeah, but just they're like, you need to do a Christian film. I'm like, I know I do, but so ended up I thought was just going to have to produce a Christian film, and because Diego Martinez had told us, man, you ought to do the Christian films like they're doing. They're making money with it, and but next thing you know. We knew we needed to meet Pure Flicks, but apart from just stalking David White and finding out where he lived and just banging on his door and saying, "Hey man, I'm here to make a movie for you,"
we haven't ever done that.
I was about to say, would not be out of the realm of possibilities of how we get started on something. We've done that before. But anyway, I didn't have to. God delivered me from that, and probably saved me from going to a jail in like Calabasas, California, for breaking and entering or something. But I did this audition for Hitting the Brakes, and I booked it like a guest star or something. And ended up they wrote my character into combined a bunch of characters to be a series regular. So I was in all 10 episodes of that first season of that. But I was in it. I'm opposite. The legend himself, like the Tom Hanks of Christian, movies, or because he's in so many Christian movies. David A.R. White, and so a friendship develops. Time goes on. I'm in his next show. I was doing like a little guest star on his other series, Malibu Dan, and he says, "Hey man, you produce. We need content. Would love to." I said, "Yeah, I'd love to do something." He goes, "Man, what we really need is an action series." I'm like, "Bro, I got an idea," and there we go. Next thing you know, a whole new chapter of our life, started.
Yeah, and the thing is before all this, our conversations. Well, after you did the Hitting the Brakes, the first one,
Right.
You were like, "Man, I would be happy the rest of my life doing this right here."
Right.
So we're like, "Well, that's what you need to do." And you have this great career going, and it's, not really.
Am I distracting by filming?
Yeah, you are. It's like, what are you doing? I mean, it's not really the norm to break away from a secular career,
Right.
to try to
Right.
go that route, but it definitely led you that direction. So,
Well, been a savage long enough, I guess. We
Yeah.
just got to be safe savages.
and that's what we're doing, and getting the word out there. So.
That's it. I think I hear the timer starting to go off. I don't know if it's a camera or if it's just we're.
I mean,
about out
we
of-
decided a 45-minute via 4-hour podcast was going to be the right
That's
thing.
it.
Right?
That's
You know
it,
what I mean?
man.
So,
That's it. Well, guys, thanks for being with us on the first Save Savage. Thanks for tuning in and listening and watching it wherever you're watching it, and more to come. Right, promo.
Lord willing.
maybe next time
Lord
we'll try
willing.
to stick a little closer to the script. But
What script?
yeah, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a script. How's that?
We don't need no strinking scripts.
I mean, our whole life, our whole career has been
racist?
organic.
Our camera guy's like, "That's right." I don't know, but my mama says that's racist.
Well, I mean, our whole career has been organic, so we'll just keep this thing organic.
That's
And
it.
maybe everybody
We're like Whole Foods, only a lot cheaper.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest compliments our fans ever gave us when we had Killin Grilling was, "Hey man, it's like me and my boys at the hunt leash."
it.
I mean, and that to me was always the biggest.
Hey, that's what this podcast is going to be like. Just like any idiot it's like
You call me
just,
an idiot?
Just like me and my idiot buddies did a podcast. Well, that's exactly what we did. Me and my or them and their idiot buddy me decided to do a podcast.
Advice for the day. If yeah, never mind.
It was right there.
All right,
it
guys.
was right there.
I'm gonna call it. See y'all later. God bless you. We love you.